God's love is shown through ambition and determination. My dad and I love going to Davis Bakery on Chagrin Boulevard across the street from Eaton Shopping Center. He loves it more than I do. Their pickles and cookies complete the sandwich meal. One morning, my dad and I went, and I remember him telling me one of the workers is a volleyball coach, and he coaches a high school varsity team and at a well-known club. When I walked in, he greeted me with, "Ah, yes, there's the star volleyball player I've heard so much about." I started playing in 7th grade, my second year at Chagrin, and I tried every sport possible: volleyball, soccer, basketball, lacrosse, cheer, etc. I stuck with volleyball and lacrosse. I'd say volleyball is my favorite. We won first place in our final tournament in 7th grade. That's when the sport started bringing me so much joy. Until 8th grade, just 1 year later, and I was cut from the team. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Was I fooling around? Was I not trying? Did the coach not like me? Did I not have potential? All these thoughts swirling through my mind like a tornado. But I wanted to prove her wrong. I wanted to prove that I was worthy of making the team. I then remembered that I had not touched a volleyball since the end of 7th grade season. So I practiced and practiced and practiced, day and night, after school and before bed. I decided to start tryouts for club volleyball. I went to 3 or 4 tryouts. I didn't expect much because if I couldn't make my school team, could I really make a club team? The answer is yes. I made NEOVC in 14 regional. What this means is I played for the club called Northeast Ohio Volleyball Club in the age group 14s and the level regional. When my mom got the call, I almost cried. I knew I could do it. I pushed and persevered. The season stretched from December to May. I loved my team. I made so many new friends, and I learned different techniques. It was an amazing experience. After the club season had ended, over the summer, I went to every high school open gym possible. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning, I woke up at 6:30 a.m. to be there by 7 and leave at 9. When tryouts rolled around, I had my doubts for not making the team. Yet, I was still determined, and I did it. I made the freshman team, one of the happiest days of my life. Now, I'm currently playing for a new club. This time, I'm playing for DG Serve, the 15s age group, and for the level American, which is a level higher than regional. Along my volleyball journey, I have learned to never give up, stay strong, keep fighting, and have ambition. I have learned not everything will come to you, especially if you do not try. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." My plan was to believe in myself, believe in God, and have determination. God helped me see and gain ambition through my parents, my friends, and especially my coach. I didn't grow up following faith. When I moved to Chagrin in 6th grade, Maggie asked me if I wanted to join her in the church choir. When I was there, Mrs. Spizak had asked me to join for the rest of the Thursdays and to formally join the King Singers. She offered me a hand in the path to start my journey of faith. People I know have had bad experiences following the Christian faith, but I'm determined to find my own path of faith through Christianity. Thank you for giving me a space to continue my journey. I hope my story has helped you stay determined because God is determined to make Jeremiah chapter 29:11 true for you.
God's love is shown through honesty. My name is Sadie, and I am a 7th grader at Chagrin Falls Middle School. I'm usually a shy person. I'm not the type of person to stand up in front of many people and speak for 5 minutes straight. This is a big step for me. One thing I love about this church, though, is that I can always be myself in the environment and never have to worry if anyone will judge me. Sometimes I'm scared to be myself, and I would rather pretend to be someone I'm not. While that seems like the better option, I'm not being myself. Psalm chapter 139, verse 14 says, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." God has shown me to be honest, and he gave me the opportunity to be myself in front of my peers throughout this church. This place hasn't been the place where I went to school or I come to worship. It has been the place I feel most comfortable and most honest. There have been many times where I have followed the ways of my friends, even when we weren't doing something I agree with. I was too afraid to stand my ground and be honest with myself. After I joined youth group, I have been a lot more confident with myself, and I never let someone control me. Now I stand up for myself and for what is right. And most importantly, I am now honest with myself, and I am almost never worried about someone not liking the real me. Thanks to God and the church, because without them, I would have still hidden under my shell, too scared to be myself. Now I don't look for validation from others around me. I only look to make sure I am honest with myself, God, and my beliefs. Thank you.
God's love is shown through loyalty. My name is Wilson, and I'm in 8th grade at Kenston Middle School, and today I'm going to be playing Amazing Grace on the piano. Amazing Grace is mostly about forgiveness as well as redemption. This might not be the first song when you think of loyalty, but it does relate to this song. Written by John Newton, who was a former enslaver, he stayed loyal to his beliefs and changed from making money by enslaving people to being anti-slavery. Loyalty, however, can be costly. Loyalty cost John Newton his chance to make money or maintain relationships. God is loyal to us every day, even if you can't see it. As you hear this familiar tune, I hope that you can be reminded of God's loyalty to you.
God's love is shown through protection. Hi, my name is Ellie Conrad. Today I wanted to take some time and talk to you about the word protection. Protection to me isn't a noun or a verb, it's a feeling. When I think about this word, I feel safe and comforted. When I come to church, I feel protected. From the second I walk into the doors and see all you lovely smiling people, I feel protected. But it's more than that. The feeling of God's presence is how I feel protected. This church has been a place where I have come to worship, laugh, and make amazing memories, all because of this feeling I have, known as protection. Of all the great times I have had at this church, forming new relationships have been the most important to me. These people have had such an amazing impact on my entire church experience, and I fully believe that is because I feel protected and loved by them. I was able to open up and truly be myself because I felt not only confident, but protected that these wonderful people would love me for me. So as I stand in front of you all today, I want to thank you for listening. And now go about your day with not just knowing the word protection, but the feeling protection. Thank you.
God's love is shown through forgiveness. I believe that forgiveness is the act of taking away a negative feeling towards another after they would make a mistake. Forgiveness is one of the most influential qualities of given to humans by God. Forgiveness can appear in many different ways, such as something as small as an apology for stealing one piece of bubble gum, to something as major as forgiving someone for making a mistake that would alter a lifelong friendship. God uses forgiveness to help us better our relationships with others. Forgiveness can help us better communicate with others as well. But most of all, forgiveness is a tool for ourselves. Asking for forgiveness can lift a burden off both of the giver and the receiver. I am thankful to God for giving me this opportunity to become a better person through forgiveness and being able to forgive others. Thank you.
God's love is shown through hope and optimism. Hi, I'm Maggie Goss, and I attend Chagrin Falls High School. I am on the Chagrin ladies soccer team, the team that won states this year. So I know a thing or two about hope and optimism because our team was full of it. This season of soccer has taught me a lot about optimism. I used to always doubt myself and my abilities, but my teammates encouraged me and told me to keep my head up high. Although my teammates helped, God was truly the one who helped me find faith and hope. The day of states, I was a complete and utter nervous wreck. I convinced myself that we would lose this game and no one could change my mind to think otherwise. I walked onto the bus heading to Columbus with only negativity surging through my mind. We arrived at the stadium and I thought that the fear and lack of confidence would have washed away by now, but it had not. I was then led into a small room to have my ankle taped because in the previous game I had sprained my ankle. This injury gave me even more of a reason to doubt myself. However, while I was sitting in the quiet room waiting for the trainer to arrive, I took a deep breath and allowed the silence to consume me. At that moment, my attitude changed and I felt confident for the first time that day. I left the room feeling better than ever with optimism that we could truly win this game. Shortly after, the whistle blew and the game had begun. The first half moved smoothly as no goals were scored for either team. More emotion stirred around in the second half as it was still 0-0. Never in a million years would I let them score a goal on us. We moved into overtime and I started to feel a bit different. My hope started to deplete as I became more and more tired. I still didn't let up, except now we are headed to double overtime. All my negative emotions have rushed back into my mind because we are one step closer to penalty kicks. I thought for sure that if we went to penalty kicks that I would miss my shot and lose us the game. I took a deep breath and jogged onto the field to finish what we started. Time flew by in double overtime as both teams get shots on goal, but both goalkeepers made their saves. The whistle blows, and at the end of regulation and 2 overtime periods, it is still tied 0-0. The state championship would be decided with penalty kicks. I slowly walked to the middle of the field, waiting for my turn to kick. The sentence echoing through my head, I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss. I closed my eyes for a second and contained my emotions. I let my mind wander, and somehow I regained my hope. I am now hopeful that my team will win. I hold hands with my teammates and watch as all of them make their shots. We had won. We are now state champions. At the time, I didn't realize that this was God who was helping me. But after looking back and reminiscing about the day, I came to a realization that it was God who was with me at that moment. God gave me my hope when I felt nothing but defeated. He gave me the ability to win the game. I then came to an even bigger realization that not only was God with me at that one moment, but that He is with me at every moment. God is with everyone at every time of the day. We are never alone, even when we feel that way. Like at the state final, I felt alone, but little did I know that God was there every step of the way to ease my mind, and that made all the difference. So I thank and show gratitude to God for giving me faith to believe in myself so I could help my team become state champions. After that amazing day, I am able to spread hope and optimism to others around me. I constantly try to brighten up my friends' day and give them hope and faith for whatever they are trying to achieve. It makes me feel good knowing I am making someone happier. I know God would be happy to see me spreading His love. I would also like to thank the church for my faith because I've always been so welcomed here. The church is like my second home, and I've grown and learned so much here through the King Singers and youth group. I never would have been here where I am today without the church. I never would have grasped onto the concept of hope and how important it is to have hope without the church. So thank you.